Okay. Hello everyone. Mr. No Souls here, and unfortunately this is round number 2 for SKALD against the Black Priory. Unfortunately my last recording had issues with audio, so this is not entirely a first look recording. However, um, I'm only going to be playing the first 30 minutes, which is about the time it takes to get through the very intro part of the game. So, here we go. I'm going to first go through and show some of the settings here, just on a very quick level. You can enter the map, autosave, bunch of stealth info if you want, other things like that. So I have the extensive tutorial on, normal difficulty, all that. Don't have the CRT filter, though you can do that. I also did mess with the volume a little bit, and very simple controls. Can also change the font. I've had some difficulty with being able to read things, but it's not so bad that I'm actually going to change it. And yeah, that is everything you need. They recommend going with the default style, so I'm going to just do that. I'm going to keep normal difficulty, just like I did. Going to go through really quickly. So these are kind of clustered in groups of 3. So you have your warrior, which is your main fighter class. You don't have any magic, but the skill tree is pretty extensive. Battle mage seems like you have a little bit of combat ability, and then you also have some fire ability. Champion, they're like a fighter healer type. So, blades and armor, and some divine spellcasting. Guild mages are kind of like your main sorcerer type. This is like your cleric, where they're purely kind of this is a divine cleric, but not necessarily your healer type. This is your healer, frontline healer in particular. Honestly, I'm half tempted to go with this. This is your officer who buffs everyone else. I feel like this would have a lot of difficulty starting out of the game, but you would have a pretty easy time later on when you have like a full party. Because I mean, you can look at it, you could have a pretty big roster here. Ranger, which, bow and arrow person. There is limited number of arrows, so not having a full group of arrows I feel could be a big detriment to this class, but arrows are strong from the little bit I played. Pardon me, I have hiccups at the moment. And then rogues. Backstabs are also strong. The big downside is you have to get behind them. And when you're dealing with a wall of enemies and the tight corridors, I could see that being very difficult to get. So thieves could be really, really strong, but they also could have some difficulty. Actually, let's see. Can I see further down? Oh, okay. So I could also see what weapons. May use anyone. May use all weapons types. Interesting. Interesting. So clerics are limited to the club type weapons. Guild mages can't use anything. Blade axe, club, and bow. I think this time I'm going to go You know what? I'm gonna pick the Hospitaller this time, just because it would be cool. And there's quite a few different backgrounds. So, claim a connection with the divine that goes far deeper than most. Whether legitimate or not, you're always ready to dispense holy wisdom, be imperial gospel or profane ramblings of the heretic. Courtier, your time spent kissing nobles' arse has made you a master of navigating the cutthroat politics of the imperial lay courts. Awareness, diplomacy. Criminal, you are an esteemed member of the Empire's teeming underworld, with a special knack for getting in and out of places you shouldn't be. Stealth and thievery. Ex-legionnaire, a member of the old breed, forged and tempered by the hardships of soldiering, you are now belong to the ever-growing fraternity of fellow men and women with scarred bodies and broken minds who roam their empire in search of a quiet piece of land to call home. Increases your carrying capacity by 30 pounds. Gilder. Like so many of the Empire's young and promising, you were recruited into the guild services at a fairly early age. As the saying goes, work for the illustrious guilds tends to leave you with gold in your purse and blood on your hands. Crafting, diplomacy. Noble. An individual with old blood, you learned long ago that the wealth and connections tend to open doors that are otherwise closed to filthy masses. Diplomacy and lore. Sailor. You've heard the call of the mother of maelstorms and salt water now runs your veins, whether on the deck of a Gilder carnival or manning the sails of a meager fishing subs. You feel most at home when you're at sea. Athletics and crafting. Sellsword. With the once mighty legion of the Empire in decline, this is an age of sellswords and mercenaries. There is no shortage of those willing to pay professionals to wreak violence on others, and you are very good at your job. Athletics and vitality. This is what I went with my current run that I'm doing. Street rat. Spending your formative years fending for yourself on the hard streets of the Empire's sprawling cities has left you with a preternatural instinct for surviving. No crime is too petty, no meat too mysterious. Initiative and thievery. Dog. Punch first, ask questions later. You have perfected the noble art of solving problems with brute force. +1 club damage. Vagabond. Having spent most of your teenage years on the road, you are a free spirit with no allegiance to any one person or place. Drifting from place to place, you go where there's work, food, and a warm bed to be had. Crafting and survival. Not terrible. Wilding. As the light of civilization fades, the vast wilderness of the Empire encroaches on the civilized folk. Thankfully, you don't count yourself among those. The sky is your temple, and the howling of wolves, your litany. Stealth and survival. Considering I'm a mage, I feel like attunement isn't necessarily a bad one, but there's so many other things, because it's like, you use a lot of these kind of items. Athletics and crafting could be good. I honestly think that athletics and vitality isn't a bad combo. But I started as sellsword last time, so I'm kind of tempted to go with a different background just to see if I get something else. Let's go Acolyte and see what we get. Okay. Persistence is what I need for my main healing, so let's go that. Let's go that, and then a little bit in strength. So, pretty tanky. I have good persistence for my healing, and I have good strength. Gonna want decent athletics. Gonna want a little bit of crafting, diplomacy. I will get my lore up. Oh, I should also go through this. Jump, swim, climb, sprint, counts encumbrance for armor. Awareness is your ability to actually find things, which is useful to have up. Crafting, which I actually have determined is useful, because like, if you know the recipe for something, it allows you to always make it. However, if you have high crafting, you're able to make more of it, so you're effectively getting more bang for your buck. I imagine the higher up it gets, the better returns you get. Diplomacy. This is actually pretty big. I don't think this one should be laughed at, because whenever you're dealing with people, diplomacy seems to be a very big factor. Healing gives the captain case a rate of wound recovery and wounded characters recovery. The amount of vitality regained from healing potions is used in dialogue tests when dealing with medicine as such. It's probably worth also upping. Lore, general knowledge skill. Surprisingly popped up in a couple places that I think might have been useful if I had higher lore. But I'm not going to be centering a build around it. Stealth does exactly what it says on the tin. Survival. This is actually pretty useful. There is a foraging skill that you can use in camps to find food and stuff like that, and then you can use that in crafting as extra stuff to make more food. Because the rest system requires you to use food in it in order to heal. And if you're too badly damaged, you can't actually do the camp activity. So it's like there's a risk-reward system there as well. Thievery. Used to pick locks and pocket. Yeah, as well as steal from shops. So, if I was planning on relying on thievery and stealth, those two would be great. But I think I'm going to rely more on my diplomacy and healing more than anything else in this case. Okay, this skill tree is something I haven't seen before, so I kind of want to see this. A religious trait, Imperial Litany. Active spell casting, so this gives me the ability to actually cast. Oh, interesting. These are 1-point wonders. Okay. Shield training. Oh, interesting. So I had this when I was with the arms. So that's not a bad club accuracy, which isn't bad considering I only have access. Interesting. Shield rush. Shake the earth. Tier 1 school body magic focus. Bear strength. Fortified strength. Oh wait, hold on. Does that increase? Okay. Increases their strength. Aura of fear. That could be good. And removes a bunch of statuses. Okay. Oh wow, so getting... Oh, there's way more improvements than what I was originally... Spirit focus. It's nothing to scoff at. All these, like, tier 1 are actually pretty good. Interesting. Increased healing. I'm gonna grab both of these because that will help me stay in the fight longer. I think I'm going to get club accuracy so that way I actually have some ability to hit things. And then I feel like I should get one of these schools. What does this do? Body magic tier 1. Circle of healing, cure moderate disease. Cure moderate poison. Okay, so these are all pretty important stuff that I'd want. Minor lay on hands. And it heals. Okay. Okay, there we go. I at least have the start of it. So I'm going to keep this look, and I'm just going to call this... Okay, I guess I'm the other. Oh. There we go. Okay, prologue it is. A little bit faster than the first time. Okay. On the wine dark, raging seas of the outer isles, a lone caravel struggles against the winds and waves towards the accursed island of Edra. The moan of crinking timbers, the tang of preserved fish, your eyes slowly adjust to the darkness of the ship's dimly lit hold. Suddenly something strikes the hull and the ship rocks violently. Your heart begins to pound and a feeling of unease grows in your stomach. Well, I chose that last time, but I think I'm going to rouse myself from deep meditation. Get to your feet and become aware of the agitated voices shouting up on the deck. Something is not right. You should make your way up top and get a bearing on the situation. Desk with the maritime navigation map. The map is labeled the Outer Isles and a course is drawn towards the island named Idra. Okay. Shift shows you everything that is available to be interacted with. So, left clicking gives you it, right click gives you the examine. Screw it. As the door swings open, you can now clearly make out the cries from the decks above. You should make haste. Can't do anything with those, so I'm not going to worry about it. Stop dead as and narrowly avoid stepping in a rust-red puddle. A stench of blood fills your nostrils, and as you look around in the dim light of the hold, you realize someone, or something, fought for their life here. The same moment the thought hits you, a hiss sounds from the shadows. You squint towards the shadows as a hunched, feral-looking form slowly slinks forward. A tiny, disgustingly human-like hands, yellow fangs, and a grotesquely dexterous pink tail leave no doubt of the creature's rodent nature. Though as it emerges from the shadows, it becomes abundantly clear that what may have started life as a common ship rat has now grown into something that has no right to exist. A second hiss sounds behind you, and the abomination lunges at you. In combat, characters act in order initiative. You can view the initiative order by using the initiative widget on the left side of the screen. See everything there and see where they are. Mousing over the name makes the character highlighted. If you attack, you lose all movement. You can move as many pips as you got. Yeah, see? So I have 3 movement and then I could attack. There we go. Very straightforward combat. Loot it. Wanna see now. Can't cast. Not all conditions are negative, but so I got diseases from fighting the rats, which suck, but I know that if I grab this, then I come over here, so you can equip it, and then T, there you go. With that. Submit. And there we go. No, I'm no longer a diseased man. Okay. Was there anything else? No. It's Roland. Where the tides have you been? Why are you skulking around? The brew chuckles. Shadow suit a face like this just fine. No matter if there is trouble and you're needed on deck now. Have we arrived? Let's get this over with. The island is in sight, but the damn guilders refuse to land. They want to turn back. If we turn back, we lose our shot at the girl. They say why. And no one gets paid. Listen here, I know our boys better than most. We've hired them to go to Idra and kill. If we don't pay them, things will go bad, quickly. But the sailors are bloody terrified. They claim something is haunting us. Let's go, for all the good it will do. Wait, there's a few sailors up ahead, robbed by a pair of rabbits. We're not here to make friends, if that's what you're suggesting. Spill sailor blood in the guild will want to make you pay. Take the left door ahead and spare us some trouble, and a pay cut. Perhaps anything else you feel compelled to tell me? Let's just get off the bloody boat. Motion for you to take the lead. Road falls in behind you. From above edge, the shouts can be heard. You've had a new character. Oh, interesting. I didn't know he was actually... Okay. So you can come here, then you can go here, and now you can give him points. So, oh, this is actually the exact same tree I was using earlier. So this is the one I had, and he starts with the exact same points too. So, actually gonna have him use axes. Let's give him a little bit of shield training. Okay, let's give him a little bit more toughness. Give him a charge. I don't really care for the ranged accuracy in this case. Could get more axe accuracy. Gives me the most bang for my buck. Toughness, +1 charge bonus, +1 charge bonus. I think I'm gonna put that in there. Save and exit. Notice scrawled in crude letters. Cook, I can't stand another meal of salted fish. There is a limit to how long a man can live on salt, potatoes, and perklin. Take heed, or get a dagger in the eye, you cheap bastard. Well, sounds like a lovely man. Okay, let's go. Stealth. There we go. There you wide-eyed terror of dead emperors, it's coming for us, it whispered to me. One of them drops a weapon and shaking hand. Diplomacy 10. I already have enough diplomacy that I'm not too worried. I should be able to get through it. There we go. Got it. Glory upon thine ancestors. The men stopped dead in their tracks, seemingly shocked back from their momentary lapse of sanity by your words. The pair blink towards you in a moment of indecision and then stumble up to the main decks and the tumult that seems to be taking place there. That handles them easily enough. Let's loot the salt. The blood over here. Found the dead man. You recognize the corpse of one of the crewmates, a young man, barely 16 years, called Sullum. The youth has been mauled to death by what you assume are the grotesquely altered rats you encountered just minutes ago. The corpse is still warm. Shame. Oh, another dagger. Shame I don't have the skills for it. Moderate attunement tonic. That will probably be useful in a fight. Fire immunity, potion of strength, electric done. Not bad. Brandy. Yes. Let's see here. What is the effect of brandy? A bottle of strong Gormian brandy, the tired old mercenary's best friend. Fortified will intoxicated. Removes condition fear. Interesting. Let's read the journal. Written on the day of departure from the mainland. Left Alder's helm today with a full complement of passengers, mercenaries by the looks of it, paid well. Ship was dispatched by guild before we could fully restock medical supplies. Hopefully, we won't need them. Then again, our passengers make me uneasy. Written 5 days ago. Brawl and mess. Had to set nose. Men seem on edge. Can't say I blame them. Have been sleeping poorly in dreams are unsound. Written 4 days ago. Eigen came to me today with a bite wound that he sustained whilst working in the hold. Didn't see creature, and I would say it was a rat bite if it weren't for the size, some aspect of dention that I find hard to explain properly. Written 2 days ago. Was visited today by the navigator Aslam. He asked for white fern, a sedative. Claimed he had trouble sleeping. Suspected he was not fully forthcoming, and when pushed, he mumbled something about the stars being odd. Not sure what he meant, and he left before I could push him further. Written today. Men are about to break. We cannot maintain our course for Idra. Captain advised me today to make ready for the surgeries and expect casualties. I suspect he intends to inform our passengers that he refuses to land on the island. This is my last. The entry trails off. Oh, that was cheery. What? Oh, am I taking... I'm taking damage from that. Okay, I did not realize that. I feel like a fool now. Well, at least I have a shield. Oh, what? What? Oh! He has a two-hander, and I, instead, like a fool, equipped him for axe fighting. Well, it's a good thing that I'm only doing the prologue with this character, so. You emerge onto the deck and see two groups of men facing each other with weapons drawn. The ship shakes violently in the grip of the storm as lightning tears across the sky. Amidst the din of storm and the frantic arguments, you bellow for attention of the assembled crewmen and mercenaries. Both the ship captain and the leader of the mercenaries you hired, a coarse thug of a man named Estavo, turn their attention to you. They look ready to use the unsheathed weapons in their hands at the slightest provocation. I am going to address the ship captain. You direct your attention to the ship captain. You know him to be a reasonable but suggestible man. At present, his usually placid eyes are wild with panic. Or anger. I paid you for passage to the shore, did I not? Captain lowers his weapon and speaks earnestly. The coast of Idra is cursed. We heard tales and assumed them grog-drenched rumors only. But there is something between us and the shore, and that will drag us all into the watery grave. What are you talking about? What have you seen? Naught but glimpses. My men have seen the shadow of something, deep in the water, stalking us. Nothing natural moves like that. Estavo glares murderously at the captain. So, you renege on your deal based on glimpses, foolish superstition, or Estavo, do as you wish. I'm going to go with renege on the deal. There's a desperation in the captain's voice. We are seasoned sailors. We do not balk at shadows. You need to be alive to rescue this girl you speak of. We're out of time. Sail us in or argue the point with Sestravo. You speak sense. Perhaps it's better to turn around. I'm going to go with argue with Estravo. Estravo turns a steely gaze from you to the captain. Let me spell this out for you, sea dog. We contracted to rescue the girl, but if you don't get us to the shores, we'll gut you for free. The mercenaries you hired all shift their weight in anticipation of making good on that promise. Captain, he's right. Do what we hired you to do. Something changed in the captain's expression. He stands tall. I will not order my ship and my men to certain doom. We shall not get any closer to the coast while I have command. Well, I don't feel like attacking the captain. Diplomacy verse 10. Diplomacy is where it's at, and this is why I'm like diplomacy is wonderful. There we go. We got it. A few of the ship's crew lower their weapons. The captain's eyes slip between you and Estravo's murderous grin. He sheathes his blade and speaks softly, his voice barely audible over the snapping sails. So be it. May the deep have mercy. Oh boy. Suddenly, huge, monstrous tentacles burst from the water around the ship. For a split second before the terror sets in, you wonder what Estravo must be thinking as the monstrosities loom over him. After reaching their full height, the tentacles curve inward and smash into the ship. Some pierce straight through the deck, others snap the masts like they were matchsticks. You stand frozen in place. Through the haze of splinter wood and panic screams, you notice Roland. He throws himself out of the way of a tentacle, but begins to fall overboard as the ship lurches once more. Roland's aid. You dash towards the ship's fractured rail, dodging holes in the deck and wounded men beseeching you for help. Roland hangs by one arm from the side of the ship. Gonna try to grab him. You grab Roland's arm, but he loses his grip, and your fingers close only around thin air. You miss him by an inch. He falls wordlessly downward. You watch as he's swallowed by the raging sea. The ship is listening fatally, and you see the great tentacles high above you, poised for the coup de grace. I guess I'm joining him. As you jump, you hear the terrible rending of wood giving in on the flesh. The impact of the water winds you. The wave pummel you down. The currents beseech you to go deeper, ever deeper, peaceful blackness. And so I sink. Okay. And that was the prologue, ladies and gentlemen. It was a little bit different than my first playthrough. There were a couple noticeable differences. My first playthrough, I didn't actually choose Roland to go with me. I had actually left him underground because I kind of figured like he was going to be like someone that causes issues with a party. And yeah, I don't know if he's actually alive in my playthrough because he was probably inside the ship when it broke apart, so he might not have made it. But only time will tell. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. This was SKALD against the Black Priory. So it is available on Steam for a very reasonable price, in my opinion, of $14.99 or roughly 15 US dollars. And I have to say, the start of it seems very promising. The writing seems good. The combat seems like it has a good bit of depth. And, you know, as long as it maintains this quality, I think that's a very good deal. Anyways, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Adios.